I'm leaving and I'm moving to Florida because one day, a Thursday, I think, Heather came in bandstand and I saw her and I ran across the store. She says I skipped and like frolicked, but I didn't do that. It was like a manly stroll, if anything, casual manly stroll to get across the store to wait on her because, you know, clearly I had to talk to this girl. She had it going on. I didn't ask her name or anything or her number, and then she left and I was kicking myself because I thought I'll never see that girl again. She paid with a credit card, so I got her name off her credit card receipt and got on Facebook and found her. 2 years later, here we are, engaged. I used to tell my dad that one day I'm gonna live in Florida. I'm gonna grow up and live in Florida. And then, sure enough, the opportunity has presented itself. So, you know, I hate to leave the family and the friends, but we've both got jobs lined up down there, for one thing, and we've got a house lined up. So, all the signs are pointing to Florida, and we just figure why fight it. So, that's why we're moving.
It's about to get real up in here. The actual story is pretty boring. We met in school, and I was a bright, pink-eyed young boy.
The first thing Clay ever said to me, and I'll never forget it, he was the first person to tell me that Gandalf was gay.
I never really met him. It was more like I knew about him.
The first time I met Clay, we started going to the church that he went to, and I saw him and Thomas, and I was like, man, these guys are really weird, but I guess I'll get to know them.
Next question.
He was short. His mom worked at the school.
He's always real nice guy. He's real polite and friendly. It was a little weird when he dated my sister, but I got past that because like he broke up with her, but he still hung out with me, so that's good.
You know, he looked up to me literally.
He probably has good sphincter control because your body has like 6 of them.
Around that time is when we used to spend the night at each other's house all the time and play Twisted Metal 3, because Twisted Metal 3 was the best one.
He used to have a Camry. I remember that, and that was his like name on things.
I think there was a couple of times me and him raced, you know, the Astro van and the Ram Cam. It was a pretty heated battle.
I remember the one time Clay and I climbed Mount Everest. We never returned. Sometimes I'd like to think we're still up there.
Clay had recently gotten a gun.
What do you do?
Because he worked at a hotel, and you can't be too careful these days, so he got a gun. And he came over one day, and we went out to a shooting range out in my yard, and we decided that was too boring, so we went out in the woods to shoot squirrels. And it's this little bitty gun, and it doesn't have a safety on it, and he's got a holster like over his crotch that he sticks it down in. So I just stayed behind him.
One time we were going to do a parkour video, and you had a migraine, and then Thomas threw his hat at the window and said, Clay! Clay! And then we went and did it with Thomas.
Me and Clay had some pretty interesting times together. A couple of them occurred outside of the United States in a far-off mythical land called Russia. We did a lot of late-night singing. The sun didn't go down until 11, 12 at night, so we weren't going to get any sleep, so we figured, why not sing? What a wonderful world. And I can't remember if we did the Louis Armstrong version or the Michael Bublé, but it turned out great, I think.
It was beautiful. I heard the rendition of it. It truly was... I felt it here.
That's
in
what
my
sold.
heart.
That's what sold you on me. Wasn't it?
It was.
I don't know.
It was what brought us together.
I don't know if
we
Clay
should
showed that
Clay.
to Heather, but I'm sure it's the same situation with her. she was like, "Hey, what is this video?" And she watched it, and she's like, "All right, we're gonna get married."
Sunday nights, we would all come over to my house and we'd play Mario Strikers, and it was intense. I remember Clay was always Mario with toads. And honestly, Clay would just toss our salad. He was really good because those effing toads. He would like shoot from midfield and make it, and I would just rage out. Those were some intense battles.
Going back to Russia, they have something there called a banya. You go into a sauna with a towel on, and they just crank it up to insane temperatures, and you basically stay in there until you can't take it anymore. Like, you're a pansy if you leave early, but that's how it works. And then you run out of the sauna and jump into a freezing cold bath, and then you, like, whatever life is left in you, you try and roll into a hot pool. And so while we were there, Pastor Joel and I were like, well, we need to get Clay in on banya, and it never happened, unfortunately. And that probably would have been the best time I ever saw him naked, but it didn't happen. I don't really remember the original question now.
Wait, so that whole story was completely pointless because you didn't actually see him naked?
Not on that trip, but I was hoping I would.
Why would you hope to see him naked? That's so weird.
My first reaction was I really wasn't that surprised. I thought good for Clay. Tampa's pretty.
I was so surprised that my eyes like freaked out and I had to get glasses.
It's true.
It's gonna take some adjusting, to fill that void that he's leaving. Because none of us can play guitar.
Wait, you're getting married?
Florida's a great place. It's warm.
It's a little bit closer to us. Maybe we'll see him.
Yeah, it's close by. They have beaches.
Yeah.
What am I gonna miss most about Clay? His scent.
His tongue. Because it's just like a slab of muscle. And he sings a lot, I think. I've only heard him play. I've never heard him sing. Apparently he sings also.
The thought that I can't just call up Clay and leave him a voicemail and then see him a few days later and say, "Hey, I tried to call you." And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I had a migraine."
Why?
I'm going to sleep with my lights on. I'll tell you that.
His smile.
Clay played a big role the night before our wedding. He got behind me and shaved my neck.
It's like that night in Gusev all over again. All over.
It was the smoothest my neck has ever been, I think. And I know Sarah appreciated it.
I did. It was really nice. Thank you, Clay. That was truly a great friend would do that for somebody. So.
And I mean, I can only hope that I can please Clay and Heather that much the night before their wedding.
If I had to sum up Clay in a meal, it'd probably be a bowl of spaghetti. I think that just kind of, that's classic Clay, he's kind of a little bit slippery sometimes, but he's filling, and you get so much out of like him, and kind of sometimes like he can leave a bad taste in your mouth, but overall you're glad you ate spaghetti, but you wouldn't want to like kiss somebody after kissing him, after eating Clay.
Clay's life journey was like a blue whale, because he's in the ocean and he's swimming, and all these other fish are like, "Whoa, that's a blue whale, that's really big." And you're kind of scared of it. Then you realize he has one of the most gentle life journeys ever, just like a blue whale. And he lives on plankton, kind of like Clay. He lives on the small things of life, because music and friends and Don Ponchos. His friendship with Zach.
They say that Florida is where old people go to die, but I think that's where Clay's going to go to live.
Where do I see Clay in 5 years? I see him at home in a maternity outfit, maternity dress.
At night when I'm looking up the stars and I'm with Clay, or even when I'm not with him, he's with me, you know, and not even just like right next to me. It's like he's almost like inside me a little bit.
If I had a message for Clay in his upcoming marriage, I would say treat it like a T-Rex. You know, if things get too real, just stand still. And it's amazing how many problems you can solve by just standing still.
Well, I think Sarah can answer this better because I pretty much just try stuff and see what happens. So you could ask her, like, you know, what's worked well.
Be sure to split up your workout routines. You want to do upper body, lower body, and at least some cardio in between.
I think Clay should have 6 kids, and I want them to be in a traveling band, but I never want to see them play because it would just be too emotional for me.
I think they could find a babysitter. I don't have to. I mean, I don't have time for that.
Clay, I just want you to know, you haven't left me. You didn't leave me. I left you first. It's all her fault.
Vitamins are good. Cheetos are bad. Pringles are bad. Skittles are bad.
I thought of his kids. They're shaking their hips. That's what excites me the most.
Certain kinds of beans are good.
You know, you need to keep your wife happy, no matter how long you're married. Just keep making her happy, man.
That's very nice.
I know. I mean, you're happy, right?
I'm very happy.
See?
Never lose your spirit. And always remember, if you solo lane, bot lane, get wards, or you'll get dunked.
All right, Matt. I just want to say I'm really proud of you and Sarah. I hope you guys have a really long-lasting marriage.
Thanks.
Thanks.
I'm gonna start crying.
Clay's always been there inside me, and now, Heather, you're gonna have a little bit of Clay inside you too.
Have a good life. From Zach.
Get it dunked.
Get dunked.
Get dunked.
Get dunked.
I'm not saying that.
Off the skies of blue, red roses too. Now in the summer, I've got a voice, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Oh, you Zach almost got you. That's a good thing. Yes! I tag! That was between your legs, man. I was playing Counter-Strike earlier.
You've seen Clay naked?
I don't know. Probably.